Alright, sup? So in all fruits, when you collect fruits, you want to do it in a very specific way, and I'm here to talk about sort of why and how. Basically, every fruit is going to have a certain amount of juice, and the way we measure that is not by the total amount of bottles, but whether or not they produce a whole value or a half value. So 2.0 juice, 1.0 juice, we don't care if it's 2 bottles or 1 bottles, we just care that it's full bottles and it'll make it a whole bottle. And then these guys will have a half bottle that they'll produce. And basically, after every fruit, you're either going to have a whole bottle or a half bottle. And when a whole fruit comes in, it's going to stay whatever bottle it was. And then if a half fruit comes in, it's going to switch to the other one. So if I have a whole bottle and then a half fruit comes in, then I'm going to have a half bottle for the next fruit. But basically what this means is if you collect the whole fruit while you have a half bottle, you're going to lose 1 second. And if you collect the half fruit while it's a half bottle, nothing happens. It just switches back. So in this example, I start the day with a full bottle. I collect the strawberry, and then I collect the cherry, so now it's a half bottle. And then I collect the grapes, which is a whole fruit. So I'm going to lose 1 second. And then I collect the orange, which switches it back to full, and then I collect another strawberry. So this leads us to specific routing. On day 2, when you're coming back from the Brittany section, you're going to want to whistle this strawberry right here. It's hard to see, but you just want to stop the first strawberry by the first rock cave, the first one. And then do the section, wall break, whatever. When you're done with that, you switch back to Alf and you whistle the Pikmin at the base to do the blowhog section. If you can stop them in time before the lemon and the other strawberry collects, then it's going to bring you here. If you don't, just don't collect anything else, whatever. And what this is going to allow is you're just going to collect the 2 strawberries after, leave the lemon there, and what that's going to cause is on day 4 you're going to have 2 fruits that come in, the plum and the other one, and they're going to be whole fruits on whole bottles, so that's going to save 2 seconds, and then the 2 strawberries will save 2 seconds, so that's 4 seconds saved. And then the other thing you have to do is on the start of day 5, you collect this fruit. You're actually going to want to whistle off of it right before it goes into the ship. So that way when you collect the fig later, the fig will collect to make it a whole bottle, and then they'll automatically pick this up so it comes in when it's a whole bottle instead of a half bottle. If you don't do that, you're going to lose 1 second, but it will still overall save time. And then stopping it also saves no time. So, and then as for the lemon itself, it should be right next to the base, so at the start of day 6, literally just charge onto it while you're walking to the blue onion and it'll collect automatically. So day 4 and 5, they're pretty simple. I kind of covered it in the other thing. The only thing is you need to collect the entire watermelon on day 4, and then if the raspberry on day 4 comes in, do not collect the fig, because otherwise you're going to have the wrong bottle going into day 6 and 7, which is probably going to lose you about 10 seconds. So as for day 6 itself, you should be entering with a half bottle or a full bottle if you haven't collected lemon. So half bottle after lemon. You're always going to want to collect this avocado first, because there's a bunch, I want to say it's like 8 whole fruits that come right after this avocado. And if they don't, that's minus 8 seconds. And then there's a lemon and an orange, or a lime and an orange at some point, but that's pretty easy to avoid, or it's pretty automatic. I think you're pretty much guaranteed to have 1 fruit between it, but you have no control over that, so I'm not going to mention it. And then the knockoff orange at the end and the dragon fruit, you're going to make sure that they come in together. So it's fine if they're both slow or they're both fast. They just need to come in together, because there's about 4 or 5 whole fruits at the end that would lose time if they don't. So for day 7, when you go to the rock area with the bomb rocks, you whistle off one of the kiwis, and then when you go and clean up with Alf at the end of the day, you need to make sure that kiwi comes in, because it's actually 0.75 fruits, so every fruit that comes in, including the half fruits, are going to lose time. So it is very important to make sure that fruit comes in, because if you have one kiwi in but not the other, every single fruit loses a second between them. So you need to make sure that that fruit comes in. And then as for the rest of cleanup, a lemon, a lime, and a fig is going to be coming in. So you don't want to have none collected before you start collecting or any of the fruits, and you also don't want to have 2. So you need to collect just 1, let a few in, and then let the next 2 come in, or collect all 3. What I usually do is I overload the fig with 12 reds, so that way the fig just comes in early, hopefully, and then I can just make sure that the lemon and lime come in together. And because you're just waiting on these 3 over here, you can actually like whistle pigment off these fruits just to make sure that they come in together, because it's free time. And then for the ending, just make sure the kiwi or avocado and banana come in together. It's really out of your control, but if you can help it, do that. And that's going to make sure that peach is a whole fruit. So for day 8, I just won't even worry about it. Day 9, it's pretty simple. Just make sure everything comes in. Don't whistle things off right before the base, outside of that one orange if you absolutely have to. And then the only other thing is you want to make sure these kiwis go in. These 2 kiwis should be the very last 2 fruits in. And the way you help that is in that rock cave, you basically only put 6 on it, pretty much always, so that way they're always last in. And then the lemon should also be last, ideally before the kiwis or after, not between, which I got unlucky there, but you want to do that. And then right at the start of the day, there is going to be 2 to 3 fruits that are unavoidable to be slow because of the way the route works as of now, but I doubt it's going to change, so just keep that in mind. And then conclusion, so obviously stopping carries to get optimal cutscenes is worth it a lot of the time, especially on day 7 and day 6, and a little bit on day 2. And then if you do it correctly, it can save a lot of time in the speedrun. That's basically it.